Mrs. Trollmania signing in. I just thought I would do a quick video about how I work. I know that a few of you have been interested in the process of how I make my t-shirts and whatnot, so I thought I'd kind of show you guys the process a little bit more. So I've already designed the shirt that I'm going to be doing on my computer here. I've got my machine turned on and I am just in the process of cutting the vinyl down to size so that I'm, not using too much. The first sheet is going to be a 12 by 12. It's pretty much going to take up the entire sheet. But this one here, it's a rain cloud, you can see. And I make sure that I measure so I know that it will go down to 6 inches and it's about 5.5 inches wide. And so then I came over here and I just measured over here to the 6. And then what I'll do is I'll flip that open and I will, kind of slide it in here and I will bring it down here to the 5 inches. And I always make sure that I double check. So it's about 5.5. So I'm gonna bring it on down here to 5.5 and then I will go ahead and put that down and then I just slide it to cut it and then I have my piece for my second cut. It's usually a lot quicker when I have both hands because I don't usually cut with just one hand. So there's that part. And then I'll come over here and I'll make sure that my settings are right. On my machine over here, there's a dial and I have to set that to whatever product that I'm cutting. So this is iron-on vinyl. And so I will just make sure that my dial is set to iron-on. This does a lot of different types of materials. And so that's how I do that. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and hit, since I've already got everything done, I'll just make sure that both of these are on mirror. So that way when I go to weed it out, I can make sure that when I flip it, I'm cutting it, this is the part that's going to go down onto the t-shirt. So when I weed it out, I'm taking part of the vinyl off and then there's going to be a clear film that will lay down on top of the shirt when I flip it over. So now that we're all set up with our vinyl and everything like that, I'm going to go ahead and hit continue right down here. And I'll wait for it to recognize my machine over there. That little light that's right over there is going to turn blue once it connects. Yep, there it goes. And then sometimes I get this error message, which is frustrating to say the least, but it happens. It's technology, and I will wait for it to connect. And usually these machines do come with a cord, but mine stopped working and I reached out to the company to try and get a replacement cord because you can't just buy it on Amazon or anything like that. I've tried probably about a dozen of those cords and none of them seem to work. So I will just wait for it to connect via Bluetooth and then, okay, so it's all ready. So once it does connect, then you see that that's a flashing light right there. I'll make sure that my mat and everything is lined up and goes under those little guys right there. I'm going to go ahead and hit that button. And it goes ahead and sucks it in there, and then I'll hit this button here which says it's okay to cut. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set this up on time lapse while it's cutting because it's a big pot. We're about 96% done, and so I'll just wait for this to finish on up here and I will show you guys the weaving process. So 97 now, so that's good. We're going quick. Actually, I'll have one more piece here to cut because there's another piece that wouldn't fit on there. Usually I could do it all on one mat. That's over here is like my supplies. I have all the different vinyls and everything like that. Those down there are for the stickers. This section up here is all for the heat transfer, and then I have some tools and some products that I'm going to be working on very shortly here. And then this is where I keep all of my mats. So there's two, I think I have two, yeah, two very large mats. So these are 12 by 24, and then I have my regular mats, which are 12 by 12. And then over there I have my heat presses, and this is just my scrap box with all the markers, because this nifty little machine can also do markers in this little guy right here. All right, so once it's done cutting, I go ahead and I push this button, and that will unload the mat here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that what you do is you just kind of grab it there on the end that's kind of poking up, and then just peel it, and then this sheet is all ready for me to weed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place the vinyl sheet that you guys watched me cut, and it'll move on down to the second one. So this is, and you always want to make sure when you're cutting this stuff that it's shiny side down. So can you guys see what I'm doing here? Not really. I'm going to have to try and find a camera stand or something. So if you guys want to see these kinds of videos, I can do them without finagling the camera. Okay, so guys, I went ahead and the camera fell, so sorry, I'm going to cut that part out. I just went ahead and made sure that my vinyl was on there good with the shiny side down so that it actually cuts the vinyl. I don't need to adjust any of the settings because it's still the same type of vinyl, just another piece of the project. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, slide it in, hit that button, and that one goes ahead and takes it. And then this one will be fairly quick, so I won't do a time lapse for this one, but I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll check back in with you guys when I'm ready to weed. So both sheets have been cut now, and I'm going to go ahead and just finish off this part here. I just have to hit finish so my light stops blinking at me over there, and then it'll bring me back to the project that I'm working on. And now it is time to weed my. So up here we have some of my favorite products that I like to use for weeding. So, well, not the scissors because I can't really weed with those, but they're sparkly and they're pretty, and I use this to cut my vinyl down. These are just Fiskars scissors, and I'm sure that they're supposed to be used for, I think these are fabric scissors, but I just find that they work probably some of the best that I've ever heard. So I also have these three here, which are really useful. These are my little tweezers, and if you notice, they've got, I don't think it'll focus on them, but maybe it will. Maybe on the white background. So these just kind of like get little stuff that won't come off easily with the other weeding tools. So here is my big hook. This is for big pieces of vinyl, and it's really helpful. I don't use this one as much as I used to when I first started, and I don't know why. I think I've just become more comfortable with the next tool I'm going to show you. So this one, when I first started using it, it was actually a straight tip, but now, I don't know if I can focus in on that, but it's not really, there we go. So it's kind of gotten like a little, come on, focus. Sorry guys, there we go. Well, anyway, it's not going to focus. Oh, there we go. So it's kind of bent a little bit throughout my use of it, and it has just like a tiny little hook, and so I find this really helpful, especially for small pieces, and I tend to go towards this weeding tool more than really any of the other ones. So I really do like this one. So I'm going to try and set this camera up so that it can show my process for weeding. Okay. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I tried to set this camera up so that you guys can see the process of how I weed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. So you can't really tell on this sheet where it's been cut. I don't know how to even show you guys that because it's a white vinyl, so you're not really gonna see it. Really the only time that I can really see what is on there is if it cuts really deep, especially with the thicker vinyl, like any of the glitter or the full heat transfer vinyl is really visible when it comes to weeding out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start, and that's about it. So I'll put it on time lapse so you guys can see the process. About some of the bigger projects is that really when you're getting started, you just use that little guy over there to really start the vinyl process of weeding, and then got stuck to it. Oh well, it's a little windy today, so the door just decided to close on its own. Anyway, so now that the big piece is off, I will be able to kind of go through and get the little stuff like this here. Anything that's inside of a letter, like this is an R, so there's, I don't know if you can maybe see the line now. Oh, yep, there you go. So that's what I'm talking about. So that's kind of what I base my stuff off of. So that will come out, and then the stuff that's in there will come out. Any little lines and stuff like that that I missed, so there's definitely some in there, and pretty much throughout the entire thing there's going to be little bits and pieces, but the big bulk of it was this guy right here, and this is all stuff that I will go ahead and toss away because it's not usable anymore. So I will check back in with you guys when I start the other one. So it is completely weeded now. These guys up here were really difficult. Those little pieces can just be troubling sometimes, and you got to get really close to the project in order to see it. Actually, I completely forgot that this piece right here was in his leg, so I almost left that on accident, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and I will get started on this second one. I'll try and set the camera up again like I did last time. Okay guys, so that one was fairly easy. It's probably just a minute project. Just really, there's no little intricate details or anything like that. It's just the one sheet to get off. So it's stuff like this is a fairly easy process to do. So we're gonna go ahead and go over there, and I've got to get this guy lined up on the back of this black shirt. And actually this shirt is for Mr. Troll Media. He requested this, and it's kind of a funny joke, but you know, let's see how this thing turns out. So the first thing that I actually have to do is woo! Oh gosh, that just scared me to death. Oh, it's a stink bug. Anyway, so what I have to do first that I completely forgot to do, and usually I do this when I start my weeding process, is I'll go over here and I will turn on the heat press, just because it takes a while to warm up. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this guy on, and I know that the last thing that I pressed was a cotton shirt, so I know it's 305 for 30 seconds. So that's all there, and so I'll check back in with you when it warms up. So it is not warmed up yet, but one of the more important processes of this is also to make sure that you get your vinyl piece onto the shirt and make sure that it's centered properly, because nobody likes a design that's uncentered. And I don't know why there we go. And so one of the things that I like about the shirts is that sometimes you can kind of see through the shirt a little bit, especially when you've got good lighting. And I know that that's pretty much the center of the shirt, because I think that that's where the tag is on the inside. Well, it's a tagless shirt, but it yeah, so I can kind of see the white writing through it because it's a thinner shirt. I've laid it on a box just so that I have a flat surface, and then I'll come over here and I will grab my vinyl sheet, and I'm going to place it as much in the center as I can without So that looks about centered for me. I think that looks good. So I will make sure that it's pressed down the rest of the way, and I'll add the rain cloud on the top as well. So there you have it. I will be back with you guys when I go to press. We are up to temperature here, and I'm going to go ahead and press this. It won't all fit. It's a 15 by 15 heat press, so I will go ahead and press this just to get into place, and that'll go down for 30 seconds. And then once that's done, I will take it out and I'll just flip it over and just do the bottom part. And then I will show you guys the finished product. So now is the process of peeling the front of the vinyl. So you just kind of take it, and it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you just start peeling, and I know it kind of looks really awful. Sometimes I'm scared that it's going to take the vinyl off the shirt, but nevertheless it does just fine. And there you go. So there's one piece of it just done. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the other piece. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know, and I'd be happy to make some more. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye, all.